Talking about the issue does not equal communication. Y'all gotta understand, yes, communication is talking, but there's also a difference between talking and communication. Let me explain. So, when you communicate something, that means everything is being said, but also being understood. Just because you say it in English does not mean it's being understood. Yes, it has to be understood and received by both parties. If not, it's just talking. And let me paint a picture, right? If you're in a room, actually, imagine like post-game interviews, right? It's a bunch of people in the room that are all talking, but none of them are in communication. It is when the person says, hey, your question, and then that dialogue starts, that's not communication. Things are being said, things are being understood, things are being received. So when you get to talking to your partner, if it's an argument and y'all are not seeing where the other person's coming from, that does not constitute as communication. And if it is, it's unhealthy communication. So you can't be like, oh, we have great communication just because y'all talk about everything. If every time y'all talk about everything, no one's really being understood and nothing's being solved. Look, sometimes in relationships, you have to do things like, for example, set boundaries. You might have to say, hey, these are things I don't like to hear. These are things that I do like to hear. These are things that when you say, it shuts me off and I can no longer receive what you're saying. These are things you should lay out in a relationship, because if not, you might say something that puts your partner off and now they're never going to understand anything you're saying after that. Even if they might be receptive to what's being said, they won't understand your feelings because they might be mad at you because it's something you said that set them off. Little things like that change all the difference in communication. And then even still, when getting your point across, you have to get it across in a way that the person understands. You can't just get it across in a way that makes sense to you, because what makes sense to you won't make sense to everybody. And you can't expect someone to understand your way of talking, but you also can't then turn around and tell them they don't understand. Because when you tell someone they don't understand, that can open up the door to make it seem like you're saying they're not as smart as you. Like, someone could feel dumb if you always tell them they don't understand something, because it's like, well, why can't I understand you, but you seem to always be making sense in your head? It's like, no, maybe you don't understand because I'm not saying it properly. But you should never tell someone, oh, you don't understand, or if it were me, I would understand what you were saying. If you do things that start to put you on a pedestal and make you seem better than your partner is going to be like, wow, so they're just such a better communicator, or they're smarter than me. Or they might not say that at all. They might go the opposite way and be like, why do you always feel like you're so much smarter than me, or such a better communicator? That's besides the point. The biggest thing is, communication is not just talking about it. Communication is talking about it, understanding, receiving, and then doing. If you stayed this long, follow my page. I give out relationship advice. Peace. If you stayed this long, give me a follow. I'll give out relationship advice on my page. Peace.